rather sad start for one of these teams, but obviously a much better start for the other. And this is the only series in... What is it, John?
Look at Spawn. Sponsor name. Spawn. 458 sponsor name. Spawn. The LOL sponsor name. It's like, guys, do you have a sponsor slot here?
Oh. I mean, that's one way to put it, I suppose. They're not being very subtle about it, are they? Do you want to sponsor them, John? You and I? We're just... What do we throw like a couple K over, they can put our names there? You know, that's what we'll do. If they...
Spawn at mamangdaya.John X Mike podcast? What podcast?
Don't Oh, I knew this was going to come up. I know I forgot to tell you a date, all right? I know. Anyway.
You should have known to tell me. You know? Should have known to tell me about a date. Do you remember that you forget?
I literally woke up, Mike. I literally woke up today and I thought to myself, oh no, I forgot to tell him a date. I'm going to go see John X Fire today. I forgot to talk to him about the date. Sport? They're not going to deal with an elder title with 3 stacks of that Astral Spirit bonus damage. They'll just leave him be. I'm telling you though, John, if they qualify to TI, you and I will throw a bit of money at Spawn. We'll sponsor them. That's it.
I don't think we can meet their sponsorship demands, Mike. You know,
well, why not, John?
These are lads that know their value. They're not going to accept a $5 sponsorship, all right? That's all for salary. You know, slow down, Mike. I'm not committing to that just yet.
Oh, mid lane, Mamangdaya and Fearless going to be going at it here. Now, this is a very boring lane. You and I have talked about this many, many times, but Ember versus DK, probably going to be a very close matchup. Nothing going to happen in this mid lane, I'm sure.
Yeah, unless someone makes a mistake, we can look elsewhere. Down bot, you do have a Travens on the Phoenix and 458 on the Spectre up against BB and Boomboy on the Snap and Beastmaster. And this lane does get sillier as time goes on. You know, once the dive bombing Hawks are there, there's some really weird things that can happen. If you dive as a Phoenix, Icarus dive, and you get into the range of the Hawk, you can potentially get rooted. And then you're stuck in a really ugly position as a Phoenix. So there's a lot that can go on down there. I think this lane should be pretty stable for Spondo as long as they don't play overly aggressive. Focus on the farm, focus on building up in 4-5-8, hit those initial farm spikes, and start to play around with a Shadow Step. But in lane, just take what you can get. Don't push the envelope too hard. You have to respect the burst damage and control that UDV does have here.
Look at that top lane. Oh, in fact, hold on, KMP. KMP's dead. Top lane, Delol, he hit level 2. He just Earth Spike into Hex, and Red took care of it. Leonak at least able to find a bit of a trade, but it won't really feel that great. You just lost your TB, and I mean, props to Delol. He just, as soon as he hit level 2, he just jumped right in.
And that's what you have to respect here as the Terrorblade. Like, that chain control from a line stun into just Starbreaker here for Red can be pretty devastating. So you have to play back. You do have a pretty big spike when Metamorphosis is up. There's a lot of pressure here on Leonak to just try to get this Echo Stomp off. If he doesn't, then it's a pretty open lane for Spawn to just run down. And you have to kind of watch yourself there as we do get a call out to fix a cam.
I mean,
come on, boys, let's fix his cam.
He probably just slammed his table after that death, let's be honest, John. Cam probably just fell off the screen for a moment. It's all right. We get a KMP. I've slammed a few desks in my time as well, don't you worry. He'll be fine. He's back in the lane now, but it is a very hard lane, to be fair. Like, this lane doesn't get any easier as time goes on. I feel like for UDV, this top lane, because the Dawnbreaker, the spell she has, like, as you level up Celestial Hammer, the damage gets insane. And the thing is, this Lion never gets easier to deal with. It's just the thing, with those the double disable it has available to it. I feel like you're going to be struggling for a lot of farm here for KNP.
That you will be, and that's already reflecting in the CS, having a bit of a rough time. A little bit better than 4-5-8, but your Spectre hasn't died yet, so you're still happier here on the side of Spawn. Mid lane has been going pretty smoothly as well for Mamangdaya, so overall a very strong start here for Spawn and UDV. Where they really need to kick in is maybe by around level 5, once they approach initial level 6s, we do have to see some play. I'd like to see some aggressive vision coming out down the line as well. Right now, not too much coming out. You have a lot more aggressive vision coming out from Spawn.
There we go. KMP. Stomp's going to be out at least to stop the Starbreaker that was to come out from Red. Now Delor getting chased down, but Oh, in fact, he's in trouble. Leonak's going to keep trying to chase him down. Earth Spike will be out from Delol. In comes Red to try and help out. He has another hammer. Leonak, he'll go for another stomp. But I think Leonak's just dead. The chase onto Delol, he ends up paying for it. Sure, he'll save KNP for now, but the thing is, Red, once he has a bit more mana, the harassment starts again.
Yeah, it's not going to be the smoothest of times here.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, I think he's just dead. They're trying to get there to help him out, but they'll dive him past the tier 1. Leonak, he might get a stomp. Can he actually get a kill? I don't necessarily think so, but no, never mind. Delol's out of mana. Nice body block from Red, but Delol's, he kind of turned back around for a moment. Regardless, I mean, you got KMP, so who cares about this Lion die?
Yeah, it's no big deal. Like, again, you're winning out in trades here for spawn. I'm a little bit surprised KNP is so conservative with Metamorphosis. Like, in that turnaround play when Leonak was chasing, I think he was waiting for a meta out from KNP for him to try to dance around, get that kill, maybe threaten onto the Dawnbreaker as well. And now they managed to get that rotation onto Fearless.
That's a great rotation from Delol. This Lion already having so much impact just at this level 4 mark, and he's level 4 at 5 minutes already on this Lion. That is huge. That's going to be sub 10 minute level 6 timing easily. And that's a huge problem. Like, this finger is not going to feel very good for KMP, who's currently sitting at 280 HP. He gets stunned once, he's dead. Oh, and Delol, he almost found it. KMP is just getting 0 farm, even with the Metamorphosis popped. This is just such a sad state of affairs.
That it is. No relief coming out for KNP anytime soon. No stacks being built up either. Delol's still stealing away a bounty rune, getting some forward vision going, ensuring that the mid lane is going to be pretty smooth for Mamang Daya. They rotate Boomboy onto mid now as well. They could try, but...
KMP. They're going to dive every time, KMP. Oh, boy. Where's Leonak? Leonak, he was trying to stack, I think. He'll be in time for a stop at the very least, so KMP will survive for now. And the rotations, they will start coming. KMP! He turned around! Oh, he'll survive. The hammer wasn't long enough. Oh. Delol should die for this. Red will go for a run. Red might be dead himself as the cookie is going to land. And the stomp will be around to follow up. So this time around, they will punish. Surely. Red, he'll go for a hammer. Run away. Meanwhile, Fearless dies again. Traven's rotating on the Phoenix to make that happen. Really, this laning start is terrible for UDV.
Yeah, it's not going well. Like, with the supports distracted, they see this opportunity mid. They just land that kill on the Ember. Good read coming out here from Traven's. And UDV not getting too much breathing room. Like, it was Fearless's lane that was kind of coming out okay. Now he's 2 levels behind in comparison to Mamang Daya. Should have his 6 shortly at the very least. But no early spikes left for the Ember. And he's got the remnants to play with. They need to look for an opportunity down bot. BB?
BB, you don't want any more deaths happening here for UDV. He'll cancel his TP off at the very least, so it does get to stay in the lane for now. Meanwhile, mid lane, like, in terms of dealing with Mamang Daya, it's a Dragon Knight with a double bracer and strength treads build. Like, there's not really much you can do about this guy right now. They'll try to stomp. They'll rotate more heroes into the mid lane to delay this mid tier 1 tower going down. But overall, it seems like the DK is going to have his way with it eventually. Meanwhile, top lane, KMP gets left alone, so Red immediately starts harassing the TB out. And that's kind of the choice you have to make right now as UDV. Like, do you defend the mid-tier 1 tower? Or do you go back top and protect KMP and allow him to at least hit some creeps in the top lane? Well, Travis is going to find him. KMP in trouble. Delol going to cut him off as well. The TB really has not too much gameplay. They'll go for the Solar Guardian to boot just to make sure that they've got the damage. And it just keeps getting worse. Like, this TB has no support at the moment. They've chosen to defend the mid-tier 1 tower instead. But it's a 3v1 in the mid. That there's 3 heroes to stop Mamang Daya from pushing a tier 1 tower. And he hasn't even got Dragon Form yet. I feel like this is a huge misplay from UDV.
For sure. I mean, even outside of just defending mid versus a side lane tower, the side lane towers feel a lot bigger right now. This is something we've seen with a map change. They'll smoke out in UDV. Fearless, again, he has a 6, he has an Urn up, They need to find a kill somewhere.
Maybe they'll find 4-5-8 bottom lane. They have found the Spectre. This will be a huge one, and they'll get him. BB just committing the Raw to ensure there's no games to be played. And I don't quite blame him. With the start they've had, they need everything they can get.
That they do. They will sacrifice their mid, but again, mid tower not the biggest in comparison to the side lanes. So if they'll trade for the bot tier 1, and if they manage to use that space, you're still in an okay position for UDV. You are 3k behind. This is giving Mamangdaya a lot of room to just build up on this DK, and they're still coming in for the defense.
Yeah, they want BB. Cookie is going to be out. Daggers are out though, and BB is too slowed up. Stomp will come in from Leonak, but now Mamangdaya is joined into the bottom lane. Boomboy doesn't seem like he'll make it. Another 2 kills to go the way of Spawn. And now you've officially got the level 6 timing on the line. So expect to smoke up towards the top lane, I think. Find the Terrorblade again and just finger him down.
Yeah, not much KNP can really do about that. He has his 6, he's pocketing that point in the Sunder to see if he can get away with a bit of a greedier skill build, try to farm up. But the map is shrinking, and you haven't managed to trade for that tier 1 bot, so the bot lane's not opened up the farm. You are getting some room for BB to just try to stack up and try to get some build up. He is rushing the Ags here in this game as the Beastmaster, which does make sense up against the Spectre and the clump up you are expecting from Spawn. Let's see if that timing does line up, but no auras to come out. Nothing to relieve that pressure that's on the Terrorblade, on the entire team right now. Just playing in for himself. Oh.
They're looking at BB, but a nice cookie away. Solar Guardian still committed. The stun will land, and they should have enough damage. Finger will come out, no messing around. They'll take the kill, but now the rotations. Fearless is in. Travens will be the target. Travens, he'll get the egg off in time, but it will be left to die. Boomboy will take care of it with the little shredder is now red. Red will go for a run. In fact, he'll turn right back around on Boomboy. Takes a kill for himself. Red, he'll run towards the west, but it won't be enough. He does go down, but not before claiming a mega kill streak for himself.
That is not as worthwhile as it seems. When you give a bigger streak back to Fearless, so suddenly this Ember has a little bit more of a game. It's going to get a few more items up. His path towards his Spirit Vessel isn't too slow now for Fearless. And KNP does get to show up in lane with some activity coming through. Can start to focus in on that tier 1. Again, they still have some tools on hand for Spawn, but this should be a tower take now for the side of UDV. And again, this bot tier 1's so important. Open up more map space for KNP, chase down.
Yeah, Travens, he'll try to put the dive. It's not going to work out, though they are still going to go for a fight. Fearless, oh, he's the one caught. The Ember is just gone. Leonak, he's going to try to jump in to trade, but there's no damage on the Order Titan. And Boomboy is not making it out either. The Starbreaker lands, he's down. Mamangdaya with a triple kill on the Dragon Knight. And that's going to be another tier 1 tower. They are just running all over UD Vessuwan. It is just not even close. Oh, look at this, John. Look at the stacks. BB. Those were BB stacks, John. They're bullying this damn Beastmaster. They took his lunch money away. BB can't get her all either. Fearless is going to jump in, at least maybe finding Delol, but Delol's going to go for a run himself, that the Axis will take him down. But can they get a stop? They want red. They want both of them. Mamangdaya is slowed up. He'll get stopped. Fearless still chasing. Mamangdaya low now. Surely goes down. The Axis will land. Into the Roshan pit he'll go. Mamangdaya, how lucky can you get? Roshan not hitting him. He'll get taken down. KMP will be the one to claim the kill on the Terrorblade. And it seems like UDV are finally fighting back.
Not they are, but losing the stacks, having to pop Roar onto a DK that's in Roche Pit doesn't feel amazing for UDV either way. They still have a lot to try to compensate for. They need to get that D ward on this Obs ward. Like, it's the Obs ward giving them so much vision. Again, we talked about this, but Spawn has had such great aggressive vision in comparison to UDV, who don't have the best reach across the map. Spawn, going for a little bit of smoke with just the lull. He does have the finger ready.
I mean, why not? Get those stacks up. Oh, and he's going to run right into KNP. Yeah, he's found him, John. This is depressing.
Oh, no.
KNP, they'll know it's not an illusion because the Hex would have deleted it, and there he goes. This is a depressing carry game to watch.
It is. It's not an easy time for KNP. Spawn have been playing so damn well. Their off lane's just fully enabled. They've been getting a lot of value out with Red and with the lull. There's not much room for UDV to breed. Like, they don't manage to connect onto this movement of Fearless, and that is one shining point. I suppose outside of the line, the Ember is sort of free to dance around, but that is only if the Lul's not around. Like, if the Lul is there, the Fearless is not going to have the best of times until some defensive items start to come true. This is buying a little bit of space out for UDV, but it doesn't feel like you have any big spikes that feel good to play with. Like, Ags is going to come out for BB, sure. It's going to be up in like 40 gold, but does Ags fix a lot of your issues? Not quite yet. I think maybe once you start to stack up some auras on the Beastmaster, make him more durable, that's where things can really start to count, and he is going for that Pipe of Insight next. So some of the auras will be coming true, but it'll take more time. KNP, he's just trying to go into a Yasha. He has even a Midas up, just to really try to get some farm to catch up. And just you need to solve.
Oh, Fearless. Oh boy, I gotta give Red credit. Like, Red and Delol have been doing a fantastic job here. In particular, as you can see by the tips, Delol's the one who's getting most of the credit on the line. But quite frankly, yeah, he has been doing a fantastic job setting up. And speaking of that line, Delol's gonna have a blink up in 200 gold. That's a real concern. So the line with the blink up, you've got all the initiation you could ask for as Mamang Dai just blinks out. What? He just blinks out.
Yeah. Just reacts fast enough. There's a little bit of a delay on that scatter blast. So sees it, manages to jump away. And this is what we were just talking about a while ago. Fearless has to really be careful about the line. Like, that's the lull without the blink. He has his blink flying out now. The fact that he even manages to find that setup for something like the Ember is a pretty ugly look for UDV right now. Again, and they've got the Ags on BB, but he needs more auras. The Ags alone is not going to really help him survive too long here. It feels like you're going to need a pipe. You're going to want your Guardian Greaves up. At that point, it starts to feel better. For now, it's still a heavy farm game. 3K lead for Spawn. At the very least, this lead hasn't grown for Spawn. Like, UDV are keeping it equal, so they're not losing any more than they already have. They are keeping up the farm pace at the very least, but my concern is still this forward vision. Like, these wards coming out from Spawn have just been causing so many issues. No one's playing up top, but they've also got the info that no one's playing up top.
Red.
They can
chains elsewhere. Miss. They missed the chains. They missed the chains. Small mistakes, John. Very small mistakes, and now you've wasted the kisses for another 2 minutes. Without the kisses up, Red's not going to die. It's just, for UDV, it's just another 2 minutes where Spawn can feel very safe.
No kill threat. You need to tie in with all of your spells, and to be fair, it's a little bit awkward trying to dive that deep anyway. Not sure why UDV were trying right by the tier 2, a TP point, shadow step ready. Like, it's pretty scary to try to force a fight that way. So they miss out, but they don't lose heroes at the very least. Again, keeping up in that word, at the least not losing out anymore in map efficiency.
They're looking at top. The law was waiting for Fearless. Fearless may show himself again, but realizes something is a little bit wrong here. So he's going to back off. He's going to be just fine. $15-9 right now, like a 3k advantage. At least KMP has been given a lot more space on the TB to farm up now, so you've got that going for you, as it seems like Delol has finally been spotted. They're going to ward down, they'll see the line, and they will punish Delol, so happy days here for UDV. I suppose with the game state the way it is, you're playing the slow game now as UDV. Just buy time, give as much space to your cores as you can, to split push the lanes as much as possible. Though I question whether you have the better late game scaling kind of drafter as UDV as well, because you're up against a Spectre. You know, even DK and Dawnbreaker scale quite well these days, and I question how well UDV can do scaling into the late game at this point.
I think they can scale pretty well. You can just kind of get a silver edge on KNP if you can find a farm, and get a little bit of that break action onto 458, prevent the Spectre from being a massive issue. But it'll take time. They drag down the lead to just 2k. And I think once you have some defensive items up in Fearless and a little bit more of that aura play on BB, again, the play starts to line up for UDP. Just preventing these solo pickoffs that they've been bleeding out is really the key here. Is Daya.
Out. Yeah, they've got the Solar Guardian to come in, but it's not going to be enough. In fact, a nice stomp. Leonak, he's got the splitter as well on 3. This could be a big cleanup for UDV if they can get it. But can they hold anyone down? 458 is still just running. They've got at least the Dawnbreaker Red. Red trying to get out, will not make it, and now the egg drop right in the middle, so the little Shredder just takes it down. What a mess. Spawn just panicking a little bit. Do pay for it with 2. Now Delol shows up, but he doesn't have the damage. Leonak will survive the finger output. A little bit unfortunate for the Lion.
And it's starting to line up. Again, UDV, they've got that play ready. They've got their Terrorblade ready to join in with Sanj and Yasha. Just enough stats for him to feel safe in the middle. And now they've got Roche opening. Not too much time left on that Metamorphosis, but they've got the output. And without that egg, without that Shadow Step, without that Solar Guardian, there's no opening for Spawn to contest.
Here we go. Roshan freely taken. This just feels like it should not be happening, but UDV get away with it. Fearless will take the Aegis for himself and the Ember. And suddenly the game looks like it just flipped on its head. You've got KMP second in net worth now as the TB, and he's very close now to just working on towards that IF Skadi. Once you've got the Skadi timing on the TB, things change quite a bit. So the power spike he gets is pretty insane, as Delol, who was playing a perfect game, is now being chased by an Astral Spirit. He's going to find an Invis Rune though, so should be okay to leave. But as Spawn, it felt like they were playing a perfect game. And just a couple mistakes and suddenly it's turned right back around, but they're going to make the jump in on the Beastmaster. No finger to play with this time, but they won't need it. That is the one advantage. At least with the Shadow Step, you can still play fairly quick.
Yeah, you still have this global gank potential. And where Spawn shines right now is when they can isolate UDV into these solo pickoff opportunities. They still have this really good forward vision playing in the top jungle. So UDV still has to respect that. But I think it's fine. Again, as long as KNP is farming, as long as BB and Fearless are kind of allowed to catch up, like your item spikes are still set. BKB on Fearless is going to be massive. The Ember's not going to be pinned down. You have nothing to pierce outside of Solar Guardian if you can kind of connect, but without setup stunts, connecting that onto an Ember feels optimistic. And you've got the egg as well, but easier said than done for Travens this game with a Snapfire on the enemy side. They're shoving in bot, top's being shoved in as well by the side of Spawn. And they will defend successfully with BB, relieving some of that pressure. Not fully committing on either side yet. Got the Echo Saber up now for Red. Going into that Harpoon. This Dawnbreaker is still really scary if you are isolated. So for UDV, what we need to see is maybe just a little bit more emphasis on team fight. That's where they've been shining. They will take the gate across to dodge out bot. Of course, KMP might be left a little bit alone, but they don't seem to have a read on that just yet.
Well, they're bringing him back. Fearless is here. Leonak stuck around. They'll go for the chains of the DK, but this seems like bait. Mamang die though? No, never mind. They want to leave. They'll just pop the BKB and get out of there. They just didn't have the numbers to really take that fight, and sadly for them as well, Red was about 5 seconds away from having Solar Guardian available. Now, had you had that Solar Guardian available at the time, I think they would have happily made that jump. But without it, you don't really want to risk it.
Yeah, just play it safe. You pop the BKB, charge down to 7 seconds here for Mamangdaya, not the best feeling in the world. And you get a little bit of an opening for mid. With KNP around, with Metamorphosis still ready to go, shouldn't be too tough to take out that objective, although...
We'll jump in, they have found themselves a Beastmaster, and he is just bursted down. BB immediately gone, but now a huge Earth Splitter going to fly in, landing on 2. Just doesn't do enough damage, though. Everyone's still walking out. Fearless is threatening to go back in. Kisses are out. Fearless, dropping very, very low, does still have the Aegis, is going to be okay. They do have to commit the kisses to allow him to get out of that. But I suppose Fearless is just wanting to play on the edge right now, considering the state of the game.
Yeah, just trying to look for opportunities, trying to look for any overextensions from Spawn that they could punish. And it doesn't quite pan out, but you force out the BKB use from Red.
Oh, Delol. Hex out. He has no finger. Would have been hard to get the kill anyway with the flame guard up, so it looks like he's just gonna leave. Stun out now from among Dire. I mean, Fearless is still perfectly fine. I suppose they just don't want him around this area.
Shoving out. Scare him off a little bit, cut off that farm. This is still space once more for KNP. You're perfectly happy, and he does get the Arcane Rune bottled up here, Fearless. So more spell spam coming out. Mid still set to fall. BKB not too far off for BB. Fearless still diving pretty far, just shoved him away here.
Well, they do call him Fearless for a reason. No longer Gotcha Boy. Cookie out, they've caught the Phoenix, they'll get the kill. Travens is gone. Onto the T2 tower they'll go. UDD, I mean, they've got the Metamorphosis available on KMP, so he can pop that to get the extra damage if he needs to, but it seems like UDV are very confident now in their ability to just take this tier 2 mid tower for free. And that, it seems like they will. No real contest here from Spawn.
Yeah. Maybe feeling a little bit unsafe without the Shadow Step. So 458 can't just join in on that Spectre. They do have the Guardian ready. They've got the Harpoon ready on Red as well. They managed to sit through the Aegis expiring. There is that, and they managed to get a free shard for Red on top of that. So he does have that debuff immunity from the Starbreaker now as well, with a little bit more magic res. But UDV, they've clawed their way back into this game quite nicely. And if you look at the graphs, it's not in their favor just yet, but they've managed to equalize the game in terms of net worth and EXP. And they're starting to get some spikes going. You know, like, again, that BKB not too far off for BB. Scotty's up for KNP into his own BKB. The debuff immunity is going to be huge because you're so reliant on landing that Dragon Tail or Earth Spike and Hex that once you take those tools away, it's going to get a lot tougher.
BB always targeted first. The Beastmaster still alive for now, but not for long. He's just gone. UDV, I mean, they'll try to defend him, but there's... Oh, 458? That's an aggressive jump, 458. 458! He's running. He might just make it, but he's lost all his HP. He needs a reset. No more fighting, 458. Get the hell out of there.
Huh. And
everyone in this game is crazy.
About.
They're crazy here, John.
He decides to commit the real hero. I mean, maybe they were looking for that bait play into the egg, but no one bites into the bait from UDV. So now you're down egg, you're down Solar Guardian. Shadow Step not the longest cooldown, but there's an opening here with a respawn coming out on BB. They could look to play. I mean, they still have a roar ready. He's just not been able to use that spell. Just needs an opportunity.
He's got to get there too. He does have a TP available. Jump in from Fearless. They found Travens at the back, but Travens not going to get chained up. There's now Red being targeted, but Red is just perfectly fine, at least for now. Though they do get an Earth Splitter out, Red is going to be able to avoid that completely, however, and now the Shadow Step comes back in. At least Travens has gone down, but KMP's been caught. KMP, he could not sunder. He could not sunder in time. KMP is down again, and now the cleanup crew is here. Fearless out of Remnant's going to try and chase down the line, but he blinks away. Meanwhile, Red does take too much damage and ends up getting taken down himself, as now Fearless.
Fearless!
Yeah. Get stunned. Bye-bye, Fearless.
He stood around as his BKB for a moment, trying to look for that line. It takes a second too long to think about that TP, and it comes off. I mean, you just get stunned up after it fades. It's so much easier to catch these heroes to try to BKB TP out. Just happens. UDV. They've lost a little bit of that equalization now. Spawn definitely in a solid lead, 4K up, managed to increase that by a good amount. They've got the Scotty up in 458. They don't have a source of break just yet in UDV. KNP is going for that Shadow Blade into presumably the Silver Edge here to have that break source up. But you really need some of these BKBs to line up. You need to line up these BKB uses across your cores, at the very least with BB and with Fearless. Because it feels like every single time BB just dies, you can't take these fights without the roar. You need to have that Pipe of Insight pop. BB dies before he can even pop that. And you're not getting value from your Ags. We'll have to see if UDV can kind of find that kind of opening. And with the BKB up and BB, Spawn, they are still feeling great. Butterfly next for 458. They're going to get the blink up on Red. And the Ags, it's already done in Mamang Dai, going for the full AC. This is where that DK starts to feel like a very scary court to play into with his own damage output. Still smoke out from UDV here.
They might run right into him. Mamang Dai. He's just gonna walk away though. To be fair, he does have BKB TP available, though I suppose the Roar is also available from the Beastmaster. TP's coming up top, so it seems like Spawn are prepping for a fight, or more so prepping for Roshan, which is available. Comes UDV. Fearless will get to the high ground of the Twin Gates, but there are wards around from the Radiant side of things, so Fearless does get spotted. They might jump him. Delol, he'll barely miss out. Fearless, he'll get the BKB in time, and he'll chase down the line immediately. Delol is gone. No buyback. So now you don't have to worry about that. But Fearless, he's lost his BKB now. Boomboy's gonna get jumped by the Spectre. In comes the Solar Guardian to boot, but they do roar up the Spectre at least, as now the Starbreaker landing on two, but 458 is gone. He has buyback, but does he have a way to get back to the fight? His TP's on 10 seconds worth of cooldown, so he actually can't get there in time. Roshan goes the way of UDV for free, basically.
That is insane. Like, Fearless baiting out a lot of its spells, instantly locking in that line, taking away a lot of their hard control, was actually the right play. Like, he finds that squishy target, he forces out the egg in a really awkward position. They're not able to play around this chain stun that we've been seeing Spawn succeed in, with the egg combination, with the line kind of protecting it, doesn't come out. And 458, he gives a massive streak out to KNP. Like, that is a huge amount of gold to feed onto this Terrorblade. Eclipses everyone else as #1 in net worth once more. Silver Edge not going to be too far off now for KNP, and this game does get a lot tougher for the Spectre once that break is online. Like, you are relying a lot on Dispersion to just let you live through these engage and split that damage apart, but the break just nullifies that. We need to see Spawn kind of try to land this combination again. It's just down to having like Solar Guardian Egg threatening the same area overlap. So you have this big area control onto even just one. Like, these plays onto BB were the right call, but now that Fearless is taking point, it's a lot tougher to pin down that Ember. Like, as long as Fearless is smart with his BKB use, then catching the Ember in that 6-second span is going to be a lot tougher. And it provides so much room for UDV to think about how they want to approach those fights.
Now the Silver Edge up on KMP, that could be a bit of a problem here for the DK. And the Spectre, for that matter, in fact. And suddenly, UDV looking like the much stronger team. Been very back and forth this game, though, to say the least, as UDV aggressive posturing once again, looking towards the bottom tier 2 tower.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Not going to last very long. There'll be no defense to come from Spawn.
Radiant's bottom tower has
They are pushing the top lane, so Fearless is going to be forced to rotate to defend this. Meanwhile, the rest of the team does just smoke up, and KMP is actually TP back towards mid-tier 2 to try and scout out somebody early on, and he's going to find 458. With the Silver Edge, 458 has no idea that he's around, but he seems to sense that something is wrong, so he does back his way out underneath his own vision. He'll see the Terrorblade right now, but KMP has no idea. He has no idea he was being watched. It's the UDV around Mamang Dai at the moment. Mamang Dai, and he's not the easiest target to try and take down, but maybe with the break available from KMP, they could. And in comes KMP. Roar is out. They've got the break, and they've got the DK. Very, very nice.
Yeah, not the biggest commitment out for the Earth Splitter and the Roar. Roar low enough cooldown that you don't care for it too much. Gonna be able to get that shove up top. Creep wave coming in. No early cuts coming out from UDV. They should be able to get one creep cut off, but that is going to be a tier 2 take. All outer towers gone for Spawn. And from their start, that's not what you expect at this point in the game. Losing out on both Aegises, losing out on all outer towers. UDV have this good opportunity to just siege.
458. And 458 going to commit a shadow step to get back towards the base. KMP has not popped Metamorphosis yet, though in his defense he does have the Aegis for another minute and a half, so he'll just wait that one out. Try and do it the old-fashioned way. It's out on Fearless, but Fearless is going to be just fine to walk away from this. That'll be the tier 3 tower gone. And Spawn have no choice but to fight, and now Well, without the lull available, I suppose now they can't fight. But they do have buybacks on both those cores.
The instructions are
458 will get locked down for a moment. Sunder out from KMP. Red trying to force him back just a little bit, but KMP still has the Aegis. He's more than happy to die if he needs to. And they go again. They know the meta won't be popped until the Aegis is gone, so they'll jump the Beastmaster. BB is gone. Fearless, he'll just BKB and run. No Basher, I do believe, so everyone else just gets out. Worth.
Good little hit and run. BB sacrificed, but you save the Aegis, although it doesn't have too much time left. The follow-up fight wouldn't have been clean for UDV if they opted to utilize that. They cut their losses early. They take a melee racks for their trouble, and suddenly they're in the advantage. 6k up here for the side of UDV. Win probability at 62% their way to pretty much what Spawn had for most of the game here. Although, Fearless.
Oh, Fearless. Oh, he eats the cheese. He's got the cheese. He'll eat it. He's all right.
Dire's middle tower is under
That was close.
He plays on the edge, forces out the finger, forces them to show their position here on mid as well. So that, again, provides some relief for KNP to keep this farm game up and some time for BB to be back in this game. 22-19. In this matchup, on paper, it was supposed to be pretty close. It looked pretty one-sided coming out from the lanes. Not gonna lie to you, Mike, but UDV reel it back in. And again, with the map state the way it is, with the tier 2 still up, with all the scaling left for KNP, it gets a little bit scary. Like, the team fight still feels better for Spawn, but they haven't seen a lot of those opportunities here.
Yeah, certainly not. Win probability right now is like basically 50-50. 51% the way of UDV at the moment, to be exact. So a very close matchup here between these two teams. So the chase is on now for 458. 458 should get hit by KMP. They won't pop the Metamorphosis again, though. There's no real point anyway. They just did not have the lockdown to follow up here with the Terrorblade. But can they just go high ground again? Like, even without the Aegis up, they still have meta. Seems like they may not risk it.
They need a pick off to really feel safe. If you take even one tool out of that equation of a team fight for Spawn, it starts to feel a lot better.
Anak being targeted is okay though. 458 was forced to BKB to try and get that kill safely, and he doesn't even get that. So now you know the BKB's down for a bit of time. There's that at least, but I suppose that even that's not going to be enough really to try and force a high ground yet. Still looking for that kill.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
But I suppose if you are UDV, considering the start you did have, like you're probably just very happy with the state of the game at the moment.
Yeah, that you are. And you force out the BKB on Leonak as well, but it's a support BKB. It probably doesn't matter as much. He's going for his own Echo Saber. No Axe Rush coming out here for the ET just yet. You know, all UDV needs is one pick off with a roar. They get that, the high ground opens up. Like, finding even something like the Phoenix is massive, as you take away that big egg area denial here. Still playing it safe. You are getting some split push action coming out here from Amgdaya, sieging onto a tier 2. We'll find it. With the Ags fully done on their DK, along with the Assault Curious up. So the DK is starting to become a split push monster if you do leave it alone for too long. Is going for that Manta build-up as well for the illusion spam. So a lot still left for Spawn to reach into. Side of UDV. Probably just waiting for that next Roche. 20 seconds away until we see that respawn timer. If they can secure next Roche here for UDV, find another find another high ground opportunity. If they play their cards right on that high ground, then it could potentially go into the tier 4s, into the Ancient. Like, as long as Metamorphosis is smartly used by KNP, that possibility never disappears here.
Still the big group up in the Radiant Triangle. UDV, they're almost hoping somebody shows up here in this triangle. Pings up for 458. They saw him underneath some vision. 458, he's got no idea they're coming. UDV, just gonna jump right in. How do you save the Spectre? The answer is you probably don't. The Earthspitter will get the job done, and now Red needs a way up, and so much damage. Red is gone. 2 down.
Yikes.
There are buybacks at least, but you don't want to pop them like this.
Are under attack.
No, this is the opening. UDV take 2 tools away from that team fight. Solar Guardian down even with a buyback. So you have this opportunity to just siege. Rangetrax goes mid next. And they buy back, but Solar Guardian's still down for his respawn anyway.
Oh, chains out. They've got the Dragon Knight locked down. Mamang Daya going to be targeted with the break. They've got plenty of damage now. Mamang Daya, he'll be KP away. At the very least, will survive a little bit longer. Sunder out, KMP dropping very, very low. KMP might just be dead and he is gone. This is the fight that Spawn needed. Spawn can try to turn it now. They've lost to LoL, but they'll get BB. Leonak, go for a run. Stun will not be out in time. Or rather it was, but the BKB was still going. And now Fearless will be able to get himself out. So they'll lose 2 cores for the price of a support, but it's a good fight for Spawn. And they do also successfully protect the mid racks. They'll only lose the T3 tower.
This puts a lot of pressure in Spawn though. They've got to find Roshan. 40 seconds till respawn. It's going to be a south side spawn as well. So they've got to make their way down there. There's enough time for UDV to actually potentially contest. It's not going to be the smoothest times for Spawn to just go for Roche here. A little bit scary. If they lose out on Roche for Spawn, the high ground opens up once more without buybacks on your Spec and your Dawnbreaker. That defense looks a lot shakier. So they've got to find their bodies down here. They've got to secure it. They've got the right idea, but they're scouted out already by Leonak.
Yeah, they are. Mamang Daya going to move in, stun out. They have found Leonak, in fact, so Leonak's going to drop. There's another one right by the tree line. Boomboy's just hiding in the corner. As we have a buyback from Leonak, I suppose, for Roshan. That's fair.
They know how important it is. Like, this is make or break. If Spawn manages to find a Roche, they're back in the game. They can force out a fight, force out these buybacks in UDV. They're not sticking around to secure it.
Well,
I'm surprised they're giving up this position. Mamang Daya and Travens are hanging around, but respawns are up. KNP's back along with BB. And they're free to take Roche if they want to. No vision even. Like, what? Spawn just backs off without vision drop as well. They will smoke.
yeah, they actually had a ward on Delol, but he didn't place it. Maybe now he'll do it by the Twin Gates. Should at least. Yeah, they'll get the vision down now. So luckily for them, they still have the time. Both sides gonna wait for the other one to go first by the looks of it. Nobody wants to start the Roshan themselves. Because the one big positive you do have for Spawn is the Spectre can farm while you're doing this. Like, while you're waiting for Roshan, 458 is still accumulating a lot of net worth. Can always Shadow step back into the fight. But Fearless can do the exact same. He can always remnant back to his team. So he's going to just deal with the top wave. UDV, they are going to 4-man smoke. A bit of a wraparound. Mamang Daya may have his own smoke broken in just a moment, and does. Blink away, blinks the wrong way, but has the Shadow Blade, or rather the Silver Edge, so will survive. But now 458's been spotted. He'll dagger away, in fact. BB, he'll go after Red on the Dawnbreaker. Now the egg, it's on top of the cliff. This is a good one. This is a good one, but it seems like even then it won't last. No, it will. Travens finally gets the egg off. But even the fight's still looking very, very bad as they are just melting. Fearless just jumps right in. Delol trying to get out with the TP is not going to make it. 4 down for Spawn. And UDV, they may as well just go high ground. There's no need for Roshan.
They take the fight. They know there's no buybacks on these 2 big heroes. And Mamang Daya is already going for the creep cut very early on. Blinking forward, finds the Wisdom Rune, but with the creep wave being as healthy as it is, they're going to have to pop 40. They're going for tier 4s.
Why not? Why the hell not? There's 2 heroes down without buyback available. The big ones as well, like Red and 458, neither one has it. They're the ones you were worried about. Double Earth Spike out to LoL, throws the finger onto BB, but he is just fine. They are still focusing on the tier 4 towers. And now the Ancient, UDV, they are not messing around. They'll just go right for the jugular. And Spawn are the ones that need to find an answer to this. But how do you do it? It's 3v5. How could you possibly defend this? They are still trying to get it done. Mamang Daya, he'll go down, he'll buy back, but the Ancient, it's a couple hits away from dying and it's gone. Yes, wait. UDV. I mean, it was such a bad start to the game, but they still make the win happen. And Spawn